Hi friends, if you're watching this video, then you're interested in making rosaries for the ministry. So when you are making rosaries for the ministry, you will request a rosary bag from me, and each bag will contain enough supplies to make approximately 10 rosaries, perhaps a little bit more. So when you receive the bag of supplies, it will probably look similar to this. It will have a label with your name on it like such, but the bag will include about 600 of one color bead and then a handful of another color bead. In this case, they're green and clear, and then 10 rosary cords. So these rosary cords, when you receive them, they will already have a knot on one end of the cord, and then the other end of the cord that does not have the knot will be dipped in nail polish so that it's a little bit more stiff. Makes it easier when you're beading them so they don't fray as much. And if they do fray as you're beading them, you can go ahead and trim those cords. Don't trim off too much because then you'll trim off all the nail polish and then they'll fray even more. So that's what a kit will look like when you receive a kit. Again, it can be a variety of different colors. As you can see on the table, I have some samples. These are blue and white rosaries, and these are red and clear rosaries. But nevertheless, they're made all the same. They could be yellow and white, different examples. So normally for the ministry, we use the red and the clear rosaries. And then you are only going to be making the 5 decades on these. And so normally when I make these, I only use the beads and a crucifix. But you don't need to worry about that because you'll just be making this part with the 5 decades. So these other color beads are some beads that were donated to me that I'm using up, as well as some other supplies. And that's why sometimes you'll see rosaries that look like this with a plastic centerpiece and the crucifix. That's just because I'm using up supplies. But as far as you're concerned, you'll receive the supplies and you will make 10 rosaries. You'll be receiving 10 cords. So if you, whatever extra bead supplies you have, go ahead and turn them back in with the finished rosaries. So just to show you a finished rosary, what a finished rosary looks like, you will have 5 decades, okay, if you count them, the blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the white beads serve as the Our Father beads. The blue beads are the Hail Mary. So you will notice when you have a rosary, there's only 4 Our Father beads. Do not put the Our Father beads on the ends. That's a big mistake that a lot of people make. So when you start your rosary, you start with the Hail Mary beads, or the beads that you have more of. You put 10, and then an Our Father bead, 10, Our Father, 10, Our Father, 10, Our Father, and 10. When you get to the end, my recommendation, because you always want to double, triple check your count on beads. It's so easy to make a mistake. Pull the knot away a little bit and then line them up and see if your beads line up. And you can tell if I put my nail here, there's 5 and 5 on each side. If the beads line up, you can be almost positive that you have the right count. It's very rare to make the exact same mistake on both sides. So that's a way to also double check yourself before you finalize and turn in your rosaries. It makes it a lot easier for me if you turn them in with the right amount, and then I don't have to redo them when I receive them. So with each string, like I said, there'll be a knot on one end so the beads don't run away from you. That's what that's for. You'll finish your rosary and then just go ahead and set it aside on your table. You will go ahead and make all 10 rosaries like that. When the 10 rosaries are done, all 10 rosaries, you're going to take them and tie them just in this one knot. So I'll undo it so I can show you. So once again, once they are all finished. So this particular person also tied some knots at the other end. I recommend that you don't do that because it will make it a lot easier for me if there's nothing on the other end, because I need to continue with the rosary. So you're going to just, like I said, leave them finished, and then at the very end, group them all together and just tie them almost like you would tie a balloon, okay? And you can pull that all the way through, just one knot, one knot. Okay, so these are going to be your finished rosaries. You would put your finished rosaries back into the bag that I gave you, along with any remaining supplies that you had left over, and then you would turn those in as finished. And you would just let me know. I do have boxes at the church that are located. There are some wooden cubbies near the side entrance door to the church, and there are a couple of bins there, one for pickup and one for return. So you would drop your baggie, your finished baggie, into the return box. Just give me a text or an email or a call and let me know that you've dropped them. And if you want additional supplies, let me know how many additional supplies you'd like. Again, the bags come in sets of 10, so let me know if you'd like to do 10, 20, 30 rosaries, and I will be happy to leave you additional supplies. Now, lastly, I will say this: if you are turning in any rosaries where you're only turning in like 1 or 2 or something like that, instead of tying the one knot, because that won't do it, you'll go to the other end and you'll start to tie like a knot, but instead of pulling it all the way through, just go like that, okay? And that way when I receive it, just make sure this is nice and tight so it doesn't fall apart. But that way when I receive it, it's very easy for me to just do that and carry on. I've had people do all sorts of different ways, but that's the easiest way to do it. So if you get to a point that you are loving rosary making, we can talk about getting you a roller cord, which I get from rosarymakingparts.com, number 7 bonded twine. And then you could just have your cord and bulk beads and do them from home. But that would be once we get past the handful and make sure that it's something that you're enjoying. It's a wonderful ministry, and these rosaries go to a whole variety of organizations. They've gone to hospitals, the Veterans Hospital, Women Children's Hospitals. They also oftentimes go on missions over the border and a variety of different locations. So we would be more than happy for you to join us on the mission. Thank you.